Have you ever met someone who is effortlessly confident, who takes up space and asserts themselves wherever they go? Someone who people like, people respect, and people want to spend time with. Well, I always wanted to be like that. And I've read the books, watched the courses, and more importantly, I've spent the hours actually going out and practicing these things. And I realized something. And if you focus on this one thing, I promise you, you never have to watch a video on confidence or charisma ever again. And to show this, there was this one friend in my old school. And that dude, he always has a group around him, right? Of the people that want to hang out with him. And me, comparing that to me, when they would play football, I'll be like on the sidelines because like the classroom politics, and they wouldn't take me in. And I would just be on the sidelines, scared to argue and make an issue for myself. And maybe it's that feeling of powerlessness, of feeling invisible, that led me to watch the YouTube videos, that led me to read the books. But if the difference between me and someone who has that, if the difference was something we spoke, if the difference was a behavior, if the difference was a certain way we made eye contact and a certain words we said, it should have been way easier. You should have been able to learn how to become confident, how to become charismatic, just like you learn to play the football or learn to play the piano. But we both know that there's something. We both intuitively know there's something much deeper than that, because some people, they seem to naturally have the ability. Why is it that some people are naturally able to do it, while others, we get terrified to put ourselves out there? And that makes you realize that it's not what you do that makes people feel good. It's something much deeper on who you are as a person. And that's what we aim to change. Now I have 3 challenges for you. 3 challenges that after this YouTube video, you can go out and you can implement yourself, and that will have an effect on your social skills. Challenge number 1, you go out to a shop, you ask for an item for free, and then you wait to see what they say, and then you move on with your day. Challenge number 2, you do what I'm doing right now. You talk, you give a talk, but not in front of a stage, but out there in the real world. On the street, you take a friend with you. They're on one side of the road, you're on one side of the road, and you're talking. You're like, what I learned today from Yuka and about confidence is you just talking, and they are filming you and acting like they have no idea who you are. Challenge number 3, you go out like any public place, maybe you take the friend with you, and you just put on a song and just fully, could be a park or something, put on a song and just fully dance, do a crazy dance for 30 seconds. Now, even hearing any of these challenges, part of you would have got triggered. Part of you would have felt that response of fear. That fear of judgment, of rejection, of putting yourself out there. And I know, if any of those are too much, start with talking to the person next to you. Start with going on in front of your class for a speech. Start with making eye contact when you're walking on a corridor. Because this stuff runs a lot deeper than you think. Because the thing that you need to understand is, when you're going on top of the stage, when you're giving a talk, or when you're in front of someone, when you want to go say hi to somebody, when you want to do one of these challenges, is there any actual threat? Is there any actual threat when you're going on stage and giving a talk? Yeah, that's one of the worst fears for people. That's one of the most common fears. It means that there is something getting poked at, because worst case scenario, they may judge you, they may mock at you, they may laugh at you, but in that situation, you can see this within yourself or within somebody. Go and talk to somebody. Hey, give this talk on the stage. A fear just takes over you. And you know why this is? You want to know why and what actually causes this. When you come into this world, you need to learn about it. You come into what's called a society which has rules and guidelines and regulations, and you learn about it as fast as you can. And you learn through your own experiences, and indirectly you learn through observing others, through others' experiences. And this is how you form not only your perception about your world, this is how you form who you are as a person. Now, problem is, a lot of those things may not be helpful. A lot of these things can be detrimental, actually. And let's say, well, a lot of these experiences that you go out and have, right, as a kid, like, listen to this, every one of us has experienced trauma. Every one of us has experienced a lot of traumatic instances, because it doesn't mean that you went to war or you experienced abuse or violence. It just means you experienced something that was too overwhelming to handle in that moment. And the trauma response of your brain kicked in. For example, for a kid, being told to be quiet in a restaurant can be traumatic. Like, they are being like loud or something, and then the parent is like, be quiet. That's traumatic, because for them the survival is threatened. The survival depends on the person. In that limited perspective, the threat response kicks in, and boom, the aspect of them that's loud becomes suppressed. Same thing, being teased in class is can be traumatic. Being scolded by a teacher can be traumatic. And these experiences, when they build up, they get you to, that is not just you, that's now like an acceptable part of you, the part of you that you go around living. And there is an unacceptable part of you which you have just buried. And this is what forms your personality. This is what forms your vibes. This is what forms your skills in the social skills. And this is the like 80%, 90% of social skills. Okay, dude, make eye contact, tell this, do that. That can come later. But this is the core stuff. So while to an extent superficial things that does work, that you need to get to the cause, you need to address this, and this is what allows you to create core confidence. And it's not like I'm charismatic, it's not like I'm like a very likable person. It's just that I noticed that me making progress on this has given me a lot more conviction in the things I feel, in what I think and what I want to say. And a lot of people will love to have that. So here's throwing the ball onto you. Here's what you need to do. Here's the core changes that you need to make, which is one, go out and do the challenges. Nothing changes if you're going to sit here and you're going to watch being like, Yuka, you're making such amazing points. It's beautiful. Yeah, but your life is going to be shit. Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you don't go out, and if something's too much for you to do, baby step it. Progressively overload it. That's how you make progress. Because sometimes even I'm scared. I mean, that was a lie. I'm scared pretty much all the time. But I make progress through action. And the second part of it, which is very, very important, like crucial to this aspect, is what you need to realize. Have you heard of this quote? Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will continue to run you, and you will call it fate. Same thing's happening with your social situation. And that's why you try, it's like you're trapped in an invisible prison, you try to go out, and things catch you back. And that's why even doing these challenges, a lot of people try to desensitize themselves, like social exposure, right? And that does temporarily work. But then it doesn't get to the cause. Like, it always comes back when you stop doing them. So what gets to the cause is you do the same social anxiety challenges, same social challenges, like the things that I told you, but you use them to proactively make that response comes up. Because when that split is getting triggered, what happens? The same survival instinct that you would have had the first time, it kicks in. Which means it's not like buried all the way down in the subconscious. It's coming up to the surface, which means you can process them. And the way you process them is by, after you do the challenges, after like let's say you're pushing yourself, you're taking action every day you sit with yourself and I will give you like a guided audio for this. Every day you sit with yourself and you let yourself, like you bring your mind to that and you let yourself experience those intense sensations. You use the thing, you don't suppress it. Like a lot of people are like, they push it down, they think of the previous positive experience and they just like jump into the interaction. Here maybe you still do that, but the reason you're going into that challenge or that interaction is for you to experience it. And after coming out of that, after completing the challenge, you sit with yourself, or maybe even before the challenge when you're scared, you sit with yourself and you experience those intense sensations. That knot in your stomach, that heart beating, that sweating, the tingling. You sit with whatever experience comes up. Because that's the thing, like the things which are buried down here are coming to the surface. Well, you catch it. You let yourself experience it and you sit with it and you sit with it and when you experience it fully, a bit of it runs its course. You allow it to run its course. Because like as Eckhart Tolle would have said, whatever you resist, persist. And if you have read this book called This Intimacy by Osho, which is a book on trust, whatever aspects of yourself you suppress, go down to your core. When you allow yourself to experience that fear, to re-own those aspects of yourself, that fear controls you a little bit less. And this is why when you see me on stages, sometimes I'm actually having fun. Like I'm not pushing myself, I'm not like thinking about all of this, I'm just like focusing on what's going to happen. I'm actually enjoying myself because I've made core progress on the damn fear. It's not something you have to push and struggle with every day. You do have to struggle with it, but what you're facing at its deepest level can change. And for those like guided audio meditations that allow you to stay with them and allow you to process them, I'll have a link in the description of the community that has my free course, that has other members, and that has, more importantly, those guided meditations. See, I'm going to do everything in my power. I'm going to do what I can to get you to take action. But if you're not willing, I cannot make the horse drink water. You can bring the horse to water, but you cannot make the horse drink it. And it's on you. Because remember, whatever shit you're experiencing, no one's coming to save you. I'm rooting for you. Take action.